Welcome to everyone. Today I want to share something valuable with you that nobody gave me. Not in school, not in college, not in books. A system, a method, a plan. When I was lost, when I had dreams in my head but no path in front of me, when I woke up every day with ambition but ended the day with regret, I kept asking one question. Let's continue. The question was, how do I actually achieve something in life? Not just talk about it, not just dream about it, not just watch other people do it. I wanted to do it, achieve it, build it, and live it. However, the world never gave me a manual. All they said was be patient, work hard, stay motivated. Nobody told me what to do with my brain, what to do with my hours, what to do when I failed, or what to do when I did not believe in myself anymore. Here's more. So I decided to figure it out myself. What I discovered changed everything because there is a system. There is a path. Today I will share it with you. If you follow these steps, you can achieve your goals. I do not care where you are starting from. Poor, broken, late, rejected, tired, alone, it does not matter. Notice this. What matters is that you take this seriously. You apply this like your life depends on it because one day it will. It is also helpful for your English listening practice. So stay with me. If you are new here, consider subscribing. Step 1 involves understanding the neuroscience of achievement. Reprogram your brain first. There's more to explore. Before you do anything in the outside world, you can understand what is happening inside your brain. Your brain is not designed to make you successful. Your brain is designed to keep you safe. Safe from failure, safe from embarrassment, safe from discomfort, safe from anything that feels new or scary. Let's look at this. So the moment you try to change your life, start a business, learn a new skill, speak up, take a risk, or move forward, your brain says, wait, stop. This feels dangerous. It sends you fear, doubt, laziness, and anxiety, and you believe it. You think something is wrong with you, but it is not. It is your brain doing its job to protect the old version of you. Here's what happens next. So if you want to achieve anything in life, you can learn to reprogram your brain. Let me explain in a simple way. This connects to what comes next. Your brain works like a machine. It repeats what you feed it. Every thought you think is a signal. Every habit you follow is a command. Every emotion you feel is a result of your past patterns. Something interesting follows. So if you have spent the last 5 years thinking, I cannot do this, then your brain has wired that belief into your system. However, here is the good news. What was wired in can be rewired out. That is where your power begins. Keep listening. Think of a person who wants to become fit. They have never exercised before. They say, I am just not the gym type. I am lazy. I am not disciplined. That is the brain speaking from past patterns. However, now, if that same person forces themselves to walk for 10 minutes every morning, even when it is hard, even when it is boring, something starts to change inside them. Let's continue. Day 1, the brain says, why are we doing this? Day 3, it still resists. Day 7, it becomes slightly easier. Day 14, it becomes familiar. Day 21, it becomes part of who they are. That is not motivation. That is neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to rewire itself based on your actions. This is science. This is real. This is the key. Here's more. Most people wait for motivation. However, achievers do not wait. They train their brain like a soldier trains their body. They do the small actions daily, even when they do not feel like it. The brain learns, this is who I am now. That is how you become consistent. That is how you become confident. That is how you become powerful. Notice this. Not by thinking differently, but by doing differently. Until your brain follows, you will never achieve anything. Until you understand that your brain must be trained just like a muscle, just like a skill, just like a habit. That training does not come from watching more videos. There's more to explore. It comes from doing small, focused actions daily, even when your brain says no. That is the moment change begins. Step 2 involves deciding what you really want. Write it down until it hurts. Let's look at this. Most people never achieve anything because they never decide clearly. They live in confusion. They wake up and say, I want a good life. They say, I want success. They say, I want happiness. However, their brain hears nothing. Vague goals create weak actions. The brain cannot work with confusion. It only works with clarity. Here's what happens next. If you do not clearly decide what you want, your brain has no direction. When the brain has no direction, it chooses comfort. That is why people stay stuck for years. Not because they lack talent, but because they never chose a clear destination. Life rewards the decided. Life ignores the confused. This connects to what comes next. Deciding does not mean I want to be rich someday. I want to be confident. I want a better future. That is dreaming. Dreaming without decision is dangerous because it makes you comfortable. Something interesting follows. Deciding means this. I want this by this time no matter what. For example, I want to build a strong, disciplined body in the next 12 months. I want to create a skill that pays me independently. I want to transform my life completely before this year ends. This level of clarity does something powerful to your brain. Keep listening. When your goal is clear, your brain starts filtering information. Your brain starts noticing opportunities. Your brain starts pushing you forward. However, if your goal is unclear, your brain relaxes, your brain delays, your brain escapes. Let's continue. Now here is the most important rule of this step. You can write your goal down. Not once, not sometimes, but every single day. Writing is important because writing is not a motivation trick. Writing is a command to your subconscious mind. Here's more. When you write something again and again, your brain says, this must be important, this must be serious, this must be who I am becoming. Imagine two people. Notice this. Person A keeps their goal in their head. Person B writes their goal every morning and every night. Person A forgets. Person B remembers. Person A reacts to life. Person B controls direction. Over time, person B becomes powerful because their goal becomes their identity. Identity controls behavior. There's more to explore. You will never perform better than the image you hold of yourself. When you write your goal daily, you are slowly upgrading your self-image. You stop thinking, I hope I can, and you start thinking, this is who I am becoming. That shift alone can change your entire life. Let's look at this. So today, consider not thinking too much, not delaying, not overanalyzing. Sit down, take a pen, and write exactly what you want. Simple words, clear words, honest words. Then write it again tomorrow and again until your brain has no option but to move you toward it. That is decision. That is power. That is how achievement begins. Here's what happens next. Step 3 involves tracking inputs. Record daily actions, not dreams. This connects to what comes next. This step separates wishers from achievers. Most people track outcomes. They ask, am I successful yet? Did I win yet? Did my life change yet? When the answer is no, they quit. However, winners do not track outcomes. They track inputs. You cannot control results, but you can control actions. Actions repeated daily control results automatically. Something interesting follows. Imagine a farmer. He does not wake up every day and dig the ground to check if crops are growing. He does not shout at the soil. He does not panic after 3 days. Instead, he waters the soil. He removes weeds. He protects the land. Keep listening. Every day he tracks what he puts in, not what comes out. One day the crop appears, not by magic, but by consistency. Your life works the same way. If you only look at results, you will feel frustrated, hopeless, and impatient. However, if you track inputs, you will feel controlled, calm, and powerful. Let's continue. So inputs are the daily actions that move you forward. Hours spent learning, time spent practicing, effort spent building, discipline shown when nobody is watching. Here's more. Stop asking, did I succeed today? Start asking, did I do my work today? Did I show up? Did I practice? Did I move one step forward? If yes, the day is a win. This mindset reduces anxiety because now your happiness is not tied to outcomes. It is tied to effort. Effort is always in your control. Notice this. You can record your inputs. Write them down daily. Not to impress anyone, not to post online, but to build respect for yourself. When you see proof of your effort on paper, your brain says, I am serious, I am not lazy, I am moving. That builds confidence. Real confidence. Silent confidence. There's more to explore. Most people feel weak because they do not have evidence of effort. You will feel strong because you will see it daily. Let's look at this. Small actions written daily become massive confidence over time. One day you will look back and realize I did not change overnight. I changed because I showed up every day. That is how lives are built, quietly, slowly, powerfully. Here's what happens next. Step 4 involves using your 24 hours in the right way. This connects to what comes next. Time is not equal for everyone. You have 24 hours, I have 24 hours, a billionaire has 24 hours, a homeless man has 24 hours, a successful athlete, a famous scientist, a mother working 2 jobs, a student with nothing. They all have 24 hours, so the question becomes what separates them. One person builds a life of impact, wealth, strength, and confidence, while another person watches, scrolls, complains, and waits. The answer is not luck. It is not IQ. It is not opportunity. Something interesting follows. The answer is this. They use their time like it is sacred. Others use their time like it is disposable. Most people do not lose life to death. They lose life to distraction. That is the challenge of this generation. Keep listening. They wake up and instantly grab their phone. They spend hours watching the lives of others. They reply to messages that mean nothing. They waste their mind on content that does not matter. Then they say, I did not have time today. That pattern can cost you your life. Time is the one thing you never get back. Not 1 second, not 1 hour, not 1 year. Gone means gone forever. Let's continue. If you want to achieve anything, you can treat your 24 hours like something valuable. Let me show you how. Here's more. Split your day into 4 zones. Zone 1. Build time. This is when you build your dream, your business, your skill, your body, your mind. This is your sacred time. It should be protected carefully. No distractions, no multitasking, no noise. Notice this. If all you do is spend 2 to 4 hours a day in this zone and do it consistently, your life will change faster than you ever imagined. There's more to explore. Zone 2. Learn time. This is when you feed your brain. Read, study, watch lectures, analyze. Not entertainment, not drama. Real education, self-education. School does not teach you how to build a life. You have to teach yourself. Let's look at this. 1 hour a day spent learning high-level thinking, emotional control, mindset, finance, and productivity. That 1 hour separates you from 99% of the world over time. Here's what happens next. Zone 3, maintain time. These are your responsibilities: job, family, cleaning, commuting. Necessary tasks. Do them well, but do not let them consume your entire day. Keep them efficient. Keep them focused. Do not stretch a 1 hour task into 4 hours of chaos. This connects to what comes next. Zone 4, kill time. This is where your dreams die. Mindless scrolling, endless watching, toxic gossip, procrastination disguised as I need to relax. This is the enemy zone. You do not need to eliminate this 100%. However, you must control it with discipline because the more time you spend in this zone, the less of your future remains. Something interesting follows. Now let's be real. You will have distractions, you will have noise, you will feel tired. However, if you understand this one truth, your life changes forever. Success is not about time. It is about what you do inside that time. Keep listening. If you only have 2 free hours a day and you use them to learn, build, grow, and repeat, you will become unstoppable. However, if you have 10 hours and use them to scroll, wish, talk, and complain, nothing will change. Ever. Let's continue. Consider writing down your 24-hour schedule. Remove all unnecessary time killers. Design your day like a system. Stick to it like a warrior. Track it, improve it, and master it. Time is your battlefield, and every hour is either a weapon or a wound. You decide. Here's more. Step 5 involves protecting your focus like a lion protects its cubs. Notice this. Let me tell you something that might hurt at first, but it will save your life. Your focus is being stolen. Right now, every single day, by your phone, by your apps, by notifications, by other people's opinions, by news, by gossip, by noise, by garbage. There's more to explore. You do not even realize it. You are not lazy. You are not stupid. You are just distracted. Here is the part most people never understand. Focus is not about intelligence. Focus is about protection. You can learn to protect your focus like a lion protects its cubs. Let's look at this. Imagine a lion mother with 3 newborn cubs. If a snake comes near them, she acts. She attacks. She roars. She risks everything. The reason is that those cubs are her future. Now think of your focus. That is your future too. If you let distractions get close, they will harm your future while you are smiling at your phone. That is how serious this is. Here's what happens next. Every time you switch tasks, your brain takes time to readjust. Even a short distraction, a quick scroll, a quick text, a quick video. It cuts your focus, weakens your flow, and reduces your intelligence. Neuroscience proves this. The human brain was never built to multitask. Multitasking destroys depth, clarity, creativity, and memory. When you lose those things, you lose everything. This connects to what comes next. You lose momentum, you lose belief, you lose time. Eventually, you lose your dream. So how can you protect your focus? Something interesting follows. Create a daily deep work block. This is a minimum of 1 hour where nothing is allowed to enter your world. No phone, no messages, no people, no sound. Only your mission. This one habit can multiply your productivity more than anything else. Keep listening. Use airplane mode hours. Pick 2 to 4 hours daily where your phone is on airplane mode or in another room. This rewires your nervous system to stop needing dopamine. You will feel pain at first, but soon you will feel peace, power, and clarity. Let's continue. Remove low-quality people. You cannot stay focused if you are surrounded by drama, noise, and negativity. You do not need 20 friends. You need silence, peace, and vision. Remove those who distract you with their confusion. Here's more. Build a focus trigger. Choose one habit that tells your brain it is time to focus now. This can be lighting a candle, putting on headphones, closing your door, or opening your notebook. After some days, your brain will associate that trigger with deep work. Notice this. Keep a distraction list. Every time you are working and a thought enters your mind, check this, reply to that, do this, write it down on paper, not in your phone. Just write it and return to your work. Deal with it after the session. There's more to explore. The world does not care how focused you are, but your future does. If you do not protect your focus now, one day you will look back and realize you had all the potential, but you let your attention be sold for nothing. Let's look at this. Focus is not a skill, it is a defense system. Today you can activate it. Step 6 involves understanding that belief is not a feeling. It is a skill you train every day. Here's what happens next. People say I cannot do it because I do not believe in myself. They say it like belief is a feeling that must magically appear. Like one day you wake up and suddenly believe you are capable, worthy, and powerful. This connects to what comes next. That never happens because belief does not come from the sky. It does not come from luck, and it does not come from motivation. It is a skill that is built, trained, and earned. If you do not train it, you will always feel small, weak, and unsure. Something interesting follows. Imagine a child learning to walk. He does not wait until he feels ready. He just tries and falls and gets up again. Each fall is painful, yes, but after enough tries, something happens. His brain learns, I can do this. That is where belief comes from. Not before action, but after repeated action. Keep listening. Now imagine someone who wants to become confident in public speaking. They say, I will speak in public once I believe I am good enough. Let's continue. That day never comes. The reason is that they are waiting for belief instead of building belief. Here's more. Now let's consider another approach. A second person says, I do not feel confident, but I will speak in front of 2 people anyway. The first time they stutter. The second time they shake. The third time they survive. The 10th time they start to enjoy it. By the 50th time they look back and say, I believe in myself. Notice this. Now that belief was not a gift. It was not a feeling. It was the reward for doing what most people avoid. You do not need belief to begin. You need discipline to begin, and belief will follow. Here is your 5-step formula. There's more to explore. 1. Take small actions that scare you. Do not jump into fire, but do something that stretches you. Speak when you feel shy. Start the project even when you are not ready. Post the video, try the business, begin the book. Even if you feel doubt. 2. Create evidence daily. Every action you take is evidence to your brain. I am serious. I'm becoming this. I'm doing what others fear. This evidence slowly changes your self-image. Let's look at this. 3. Speak to yourself with power. Stop saying, I hope I can. Start saying, I am training, I am becoming, I am not done yet. Your brain listens to your voice more than anyone else's. 4. Celebrate small progress. After every win, even a small one, pause and say, that was me. I did that. That is proof. This rewires your mind to see success as normal, not rare. Here's what happens next. 5. Repeat the process until belief becomes identity. There will come a moment, not in one day, not in 1 week, but in time, where your brain will say, this is who I am now. When that moment comes, you will stop asking, can I do it? You will start saying, let's do it. This connects to what comes next, to what comes. So stop waiting for belief. It is not hiding somewhere. It is built in the shadows, one action, one repetition, one brave moment at a time. If you take action every day, even when it is small, messy, or uncomfortable, your belief will grow silently like a seed under the soil. Something interesting follows. One day it will burst through as power, clarity, and unshakable confidence. That is how belief is built. That is how you achieve anything. Step 7 involves repeating boring things until they become powerful. Keep listening. This step is where most people struggle. Not because it is hard, but because it is boring. They start strong. They get motivated. They feel the fire. However, then day 5 feels dull. Week 2 feels slow. Month 3 feels repetitive, and they stop. Not because they cannot do it, but because they misunderstood the truth. Let's continue. Success is not exciting. Success is not loud. Success is not made of fireworks. It is made of quiet, repetitive, boring actions done with intensity, focus, and love. Boring is your best friend. If you make peace with boring, you will win in life. Here's more. For example, a person wants to get fit. They go to the gym. Day 1, energy is high. Day 3, muscles are sore. Day 7, results none. Day 14, still the same mirror. They stop. Another person goes to the same gym, same workouts, same soreness, same slow results, but they return and return and return. Notice this. They do not complain. They do not expect magic. They just repeat the boring process again and again and again. One day something changes. The mirror shows new muscle. The mind feels sharper. The energy is stronger. Everyone asks, what is your secret? However, there is no secret. Only repetition of what looks boring to the world, but is building power inside you. There's more to explore. You want to master public speaking. Speak again and again. Record yourself. Watch it, improve, and repeat. It is boring. However, one day you will speak like a lion. You want to build a business. You will do the same marketing, the same emails, the same systems again and again until it becomes second nature. You want to learn discipline. Wake up, write your goals, follow your habits, and track your actions every day. Even when you do not feel like it, that is the difference. Average people chase motivation. Achievers repeat boring actions until they become powerful. Let's look at this. Here is your system. Identify the boring thing that builds your future. Working out, writing, studying, cold calling, practicing, repeating. Do not avoid it. Own it. Here's what happens next. Create a time block for it every day. Do not negotiate. Do not delay. Just do it. This connects to what comes next. Attach meaning to it. Tell yourself this is boring to others, but to me it is sacred. This is what will build the life they can only dream of. Something interesting follows. Track streaks. Do not break the chain. Each day you do it, your brain becomes stronger. Keep listening. Consider falling in love with the feeling of showing up, not just the result. The result will come later. However, the victory is in the showing up. Let's continue. Repetition is the language of greatness, and boredom is the doorway to mastery. So do not run from boring. Run toward it, smile at it, and repeat it. While others are chasing excitement, you will be building power, and one day they will watch you rise and wonder how you did it. Here's more. You will know the truth. You simply did what they could not. You repeated boring things until they became extraordinary. Step 8 involves tracking your progress like a scientist. Stop guessing and start winning. Notice this. Most people walk through life blind. They work hard, but they do not know what is working. They try different things, but they do not know what to improve. They say, I am not improving. However, they have zero proof of where they started. That is why they feel lost. The ones who track their progress, even in small, simple ways, win faster. Guesswork is chaos. However, tracking is clarity. There's more to explore. Let me tell you something very few people understand. Let's look at this. Success is not just about effort. Success is about feedback, about data, about truth, about measurement. If you cannot see where you are going, you will never know if you are close. If you do not measure progress, you will always feel stuck, even when you are moving forward. That feeling kills motivation. Here's what happens next. Imagine two people going to the gym. This connects to what comes next. Person A looks in the mirror every day. They say, I look the same. I am wasting my time. They quit. Person B tracks their reps. They write down their weights. They take photos every 2 weeks. They measure strength, not just appearance. After 30 days, they see the data. I am lifting more. My energy is up. My discipline is building. That proof gives them power. That is how people become consistent, not through emotion, but through evidence. something interesting follows. Let's say you are building a business. Do not just say, "I hope it is growing." Track your progress. How many people did I message today? How many sales calls did I make? How many responses did I get? What worked? What did not? That is how you improve. Keep listening. Let's say you are trying to speak more confidently. Record your voice once a week. Play it back. Compare it to last month. See the improvement. Hear the progress. That is how belief is built. When you can see your progress, you no longer need motivation. You are driven by truth. Let's continue. Let me give it to you in 5 powerful steps. 1. Define what you are building. You must be clear on what you are working toward. Fitness, skill, business, mindset, language, discipline. You cannot measure what you do not define. Here's more. 2. Break it into trackable actions. Ask what are the inputs that matter. If you want to get fit, track your workouts, meals, water, and sleep. If you want to grow your income, track your calls, offers, leads, and conversions. If you want to become more focused, track your deep work hours, distractions avoided, and books read. Notice this. 3. Write it down every day. Do not trust your memory. Memory is emotional. Data is honest. Create a habit tracker, a journal, a calendar, a wall chart, anything. When you see your effort in front of you, your brain starts to respect you. There's more to explore. 4. Review weekly. Learn and adjust. Look at your numbers. Where are you winning? Where are you wasting time? What should you do more of? What should you remove? This is how you improve with precision. Let's look at this. 5. Celebrate progress, even if it is small. If you are getting 1% better, that is massive over time. 1 extra hour of focus, 1 more workout, 1 more conversation. Track it, celebrate it, repeat it. Here's what happens next. If you can measure it, you can improve it. If you ignore it, you will lose it. Your goals do not need more emotion. They need more awareness, more reflection, and more clarity. This connects to what comes next. Tracking your progress like a scientist removes the fog from your path. It tells you exactly where you are, exactly what to do next, and exactly why you are winning, even when the results feel slow. Most people will never do this because it is not exciting, it is not loud, it is not instant. However, it is how champions are built. Something interesting follows. So today, build your tracking system. Let the world guess. You will move with proof. Keep listening. Step 9 involves not telling everyone your plan. Build in silence. Show in strength. Have you ever told someone your big dream and instead of support you got doubt or worse, silence? You say, "I am going to change my life. I am starting this business. I am transforming my body. I am chasing this dream. Let's continue." People laugh or give you advice you did not ask for or remind you of all your past failures. Slowly, your fire starts to shrink. Not because your dream was weak, but because you shared it too soon. There is power in silence and risk in talking too much too early. Here's more. Every time you speak your dream out loud, your brain gives you a dopamine reward. Notice this. It feels good. It feels like progress. It feels like something is happening. However, nothing is actually happening. You are talking, not building. You are announcing, not acting. That feeling of "I already started" can reduce real effort. There's more to explore. Now, instead of showing up daily and doing the work, you start chasing praise, approval, attention, and validation. Let's look at this. The more people know about your plan, the more pressure you feel, the more fear you feel, the more confused you become. Now their opinions are in your head. That is how dreams die quietly. Here's what happens next. So the solution is to learn the art of private progress. Build silently. Study quietly. Train in the shadows. Let your improvements speak for you. Let your actions do the talking. Let your success make the announcement, because that is real power. This connects to what comes next. Think of a seed underground. It grows silently, no noise, no attention. One day it breaks the surface and the world sees something strong, beautiful, and unshakable. That is your process. Something interesting follows. Let your goals be sacred. Let your discipline be private. Let your journey be yours. You do not need to tell people what you are doing. You need to show them what you have done. Keep listening. Tell yourself. Write your plan in your journal. Speak it in prayer. Keep it close to your heart. However, do not give it to the world too early. Protect it, feed it, grow it. Let's continue. When the results are undeniable, you will not need to say anything. They will ask, how did you do it? You will smile because you already know the answer. You did not talk about it. You worked on it every single day. Here's more. Step 10 involves being the teacher of your own mind. Become unstoppable from the inside, not for success only, but for survival, for strength, for peace, and for becoming unbreakable in a world that constantly tries to break you. Notice this. Your life is controlled by the voice inside your head. If you do not train that voice, it will destroy you silently. Every action you take, every decision you avoid, every fear you listen to, every excuse you believe comes from that inner voice. For most people, that voice is not a teacher. It is a bully. There's more to explore. It is negative. It is fearful. It is weak. It says you are not good enough, you always fail, others are better than you, why even try? Stay safe, stay comfortable. Because they never question that voice, they obey it. That is why most people live small lives, not because they lack ability, but because they never learn to lead their own mind. Let's look at this. If you want to achieve anything, you can become the teacher, not the victim of your mind. It means this. You do not believe every thought you think. You do not obey every emotion you feel. You do not let fear decide your future. You observe, correct, and retrain your mind daily. Just like a strict but loving teacher trains a student. Here's what happens next. Your mind is like a wild horse. This connects to what comes next. If you do not train it, it will drag you wherever it wants. Into fear, into laziness, into distraction, into regret. However, if you train it patiently with discipline, repetition, and awareness, that same horse will carry you anywhere you want to go. That is mastery. Something interesting follows. Every day your mind creates thousands of thoughts. Most of them are automatic, based on your past, based on fear, based on survival. If you do not intervene, your future becomes a replay of your past. So you can learn mental leadership. You can ask, is this thought helping me or hurting me? Is this fear real or imagined? Is this excuse protecting me or limiting me? When the thought is weak, you can correct it. Not emotionally, not angrily, but calmly, like a teacher correcting a student. Keep listening. Imagine two people facing the same failure. Both fail an important goal. Person one's mind says you failed again, you are useless, this proves you cannot do it. They believe it, they quit. Their life shrinks. Person two's mind says that did not work, let's analyze why, let's adjust, let's try again, let's continue. They act again, they grow. Their life expands. Same failure, different teacher inside the mind, that changes everything. Here's more. This is not philosophy. This is a daily practice. Here is the exact system. 1. Catch the thought. Whenever you feel fear, doubt, laziness, or negativity, pause. Do not react. Observe. Say this is a thought, not a fact. That alone creates distance and power. Notice this. 2. Question the thought. Ask, is this 100% true? Is this helping me move forward? Would the strongest version of me believe this? Most negative thoughts collapse under questioning. There's more to explore. 3. Replace the thought. You do not leave the mind empty. You replace it. Change, I cannot do this, to I am learning how to do this. Change, I am not ready, to I will get ready by taking action. This is not fake positivity. This is mental discipline. Let's look at this. 4. Reinforce with action. The mind listens to action more than words. When you act despite fear, your mind learns. When you stay disciplined, your mind adapts. Action is how you teach the mind who is in charge. Here's what happens next. 5. Review yourself daily. Every night ask, what did my mind do today? Where did it try to escape? Where did I lead it well? This daily reflection builds awareness. Awareness builds control. Control builds power. This connects to what comes next. If you master this step, you do not break under pressure. You do not quit during failure. You do not depend on motivation. You do not fear other people's opinions. You do not lose yourself in chaos. You become calm, clear, focused, and dangerously disciplined. Something interesting follows. You stop saying, I hope my life changes, and you start saying, I am changing my life every day. Everything you want in life, confidence, success, peace, discipline, and strength, is on the other side of mental leadership. Not motivation, not talent, not luck. Leadership of your own mind. Keep listening. Keep. If you can lead your thoughts, you can lead your actions. If you can lead your actions, you can lead your habits. If you can lead your habits, you can lead your destiny. Let's continue. Once you reach that level, no failure can stop you, no opinion can break you, no delay can defeat you. You are no longer controlled by the world. You are controlled by purpose, by awareness, by discipline, and by you. You now have the blueprint. Not motivation, not hype, not temporary fire. A system. If you follow these steps slowly, seriously, and daily, your life will not stay the same. One day you will look back at this version of yourself and you will feel proud, because this was the day you stopped reacting to life and started leading it. That is how you achieve anything.